Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio.
Elizabeth.
Zaron.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing darn good. I'm fired up. I've been drinking all my pepper juice. I'm ready to go. How about you?
Okay. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, you look at it.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, you look like right on
I
it.
look like an executive.
Yeah.
I look like a captain of industry.
You do.
Yeah,
you have
I do.
tycoon energy.
Sure do.
So I got to ask you, tycoon, do you know what's ridiculous?
I do. Johnsonville brats teamed up with Dr. Pepper to make sausages.
You're just going to hit
That's
me right
it.
right in the gut like that, huh?
Yeah. I was
You
gonna
were
go
on a run. You've been doing
go
well.
into Dr. Pepper being, made up of 23 different flavors, and I was going to list them, but it's to hell with it.
But why did they combine with a what?
I don't know.
A
Johnsonville
sausage
pork
company?
sausage.
Dr. Porker?
Yeah,
What-
I mean,
what-
you cook sausages in beer. Some people cook them in Coca-Cola.
Really?
Oh yeah.
This is all new to me.
Whatever.
So
yeah.
why did they decide to do that?
I don't know. Like, why does anyone do anything?
Why did you want to tell me about
I just
this?
wanted to get that one over with. Sophia Smith from Instagram gave it to us.
Yes.
Dr. Pepper sausages. Boom. Done.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm going to skip past that because, Elizabeth, I recently told you the story of the King of Bank Robbers,
Yes.
George Leonidas Leslie.
Yes.
Well, this week I have a follow-up. It's the modern 21st century story of the King of Counterfeiters,
Oh.
Mr. Jeffrey Turner.
Oh, hello.
Well, I think the best way, if I'm just trying to sum up or express why Jeff Turner is both the King of Counterfeiters and also why I love his story, can be summed up in one sentence.
Okay.
And I quote, I used Bible paper to print over $2 million.
Wow. That's fair. That's layered.
Yeah.
Like the Bible.
This is Ridiculous Crime, a podcast about absurd and outrageous capers, heists, and cons. It's always 99% murder-free and 100% ridiculous.
Yes, sir.
Elizabeth, you ready to get wicked with it?
I'm going to get so wicked right now.
Because this one's thick, like a stack of
Radical
bills.
batical. Let's do it.
We're getting wicked with funny money. A bunch of Cleveland heroin dealers and some counterfeit money printed on Bible paper.
Okay.
Sideways immediately.
Let's do this.
Okay, well, if I got a story for you today, I warn you, this, like I said, supersized, so buckle up, Buttercup.
Okay.
Meet Jeffrey Patrick Turner.
Hello.
As the Tennessean reported on December 22nd, 2017, the criminal road for Jeff Turner came to a sudden and surprising end real quick. You see, it had all been going so well, Elizabeth. He had no idea, no even clear foresight of this ever occurring, and boom, suddenly his road ended. Now, he's already done his time inside, and he's since been released, and he's rebuilding his life. Part of that involves telling his story online. In fact, Elizabeth, you know how you told me a story about a fraudster named Matthew Cox?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
you said he had a true crime book series.
Yeah, he wound up becoming like true crime dude on YouTube and the internet and all those places, those kind of things.
He interviews his fellow former jailbirds. Tell me how you got caught.
He's got their number too. He knows.
They do. They open up to him in a different way because he's been inside. They respect that. It's like con to con. So Matt Cox, he spoke with Jeff Turner. It was a lively conversation. Oh, yeah.
Really?
A lot of inside baseball. But not only did he talk to your boy Matt Cox, Jeff Turner's also spoken with a number of other podcasts, and he now has his own YouTube channel.
Oh.
He makes videos explaining what he did, how he became the king of counterfeiters. He basically faces the camera and just didn't run on sentences and heroin dip street talk. He tells his story.
Okay.
It's wild. Anyway, there isn't much reporting on this guy in the local news, which is kind of wild. Like, I went looking and I tried to find the federal indictments, and they're basically like difficult, but there's like only a few available easily online. And then you have to like go digging into Pacer. It's interesting. So I did, though, watch every video I could. I transcribed his quotes off of various podcasts, YouTube channels, and I pieced together what I think is his crime story.
Mm-hmm.
First things first, Elizabeth, can you imagine telling a judge in the South that you printed $2 million on Bible paper?
No, I cannot. I just simply cannot.
So where to begin? Well, as the old jazz heads used to say, let's begin at the beginning. Jeff Turner starts out in Florida. As he tells it, I guess it all started when I was probably like 16 years old. I would say I started counterfeiting driver's licenses, fake IDs, and it was just for my own thing to like buy beer as a kid. You know what I mean? So he starts small, just a nice thing. I mean, I don't know about you. Did you have a fake ID? Do you know anyone who had a fake ID?
I'm sure I knew people who did, I guess, but I didn't have one.
Okay, well, I had a fake ID. I actually bought it, and it was a friend of mine who was 21. He just sold me his driver's license. And problem for me was he was this Jewish cat, like a white Jewish cat. So like the only thing we really had in common was dark curly hair. But I used it, and most of the times when I would present it, the people would just be so amused they just let me go.
Oh,
They're
really?
like, yeah, okay, buy the stuff, or let me in the club, or let me in the bar. It was awesome. And anyway, Jeff Turner, he's like, no, we're doing legit fake IDs. And so he made real clean forgeries of Florida IDs. Like he would go down to the print shop, and he got good at photoshopping. And so he'd be printing up these IDs, laminating the fake IDs. Like they would basically trick anyone but a cop.
Yeah.
So at this point, he's like, maybe I should go bigger than that. Maybe I should counterfeit some money.
Why not?
And I mean, you're young. You do need to challenge yourself. So as Jeff Turner puts it, by the time I was 19 years old, I started attempting to counterfeit currency. And I think originally it was just kind of like a photocopy type thing. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no experience in it. They looked horrible.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but this didn't really matter because he wasn't really going to like stores and trying to bust his bills and get back cash. He was just trying to trick drug dealers. Yeah, he didn't have to worry about security features.
Okay, yeah.
He was just like...
they don't pull out the yellow pen and...
No, yeah, the counterfeit pen. No, he was like basically, as he puts it, first time I started, I wasn't even worried about security features. Like my thinking was just print these bills so I can go like buy weed, in a parking lot in the dark and just hope to get away with it.
Oh my God.
So yeah, his whole plan is to rip off drug dealers.
Yeah, who are they going to tell? Well, they may come after you, but...
There is that risk. There's always that risk. They may get mad. They may try to beat the money out of you.
True.
There's options.
True.
But he's 19 years old, and he didn't have much of a plan. Or as he put it, I didn't really have a plan or anything like that.
So yeah, he didn't have much of a plan.
No, brother, I've been there. But Providence showed him a new way. Now, as Jeff Turner recalls, quote, I ended up going to a Barnes & Noble and finding this book, The Art of Making Money, about a counterfeiter up in Chicago named Art Williams. That name sound familiar?
It certainly does. I told you all about him.
Right? So that guy in his book, he becomes this counterfeiter's Bible for Jeff. He's like, okay, this is my gospel of crime. He follows whatever Art Williams had to say.
Well, and he was meticulous.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, he details in the book his process about how he would make his counterfeit bills and how he'd sandwich two sheets together, embed the strip and the watermark, and he'd use this stuff called Chroma Flare Chameleon Car Paint to make like the color shifting ink. Like you said, meticulous.
Yeah.
So now we got this 19-year-old who's been making really ugly, funny money. He's like, this is the way.
Yeah.
So his new goal now isn't to just rip off Florida weed dealers. Now he's like, what if I ripped off billion-dollar corporations? Perfect. Right. Well, he's like, okay, if I can beat the security features, I can take these counterfeit bills and actually pass them at a store. Then you get real change back. Boom, boom, boom. So now he's a 19-year-old with, quote, a hankering to make a decent recipe. Oh. All right. So his technique was rudimentary at first. He makes a product that's good enough that he finds a buyer for his funny money. So one of his friend's dads turns out to be a career criminal. Okay. So he's like, oh, hey, ask your dad if he wants to buy some of my funny money. So he shows his friend's dad, or his friend shows his dad some of Jeff Turner's fake $20 bills. And he's like, your friend can make these? I'll take $5,000 worth. Whoa. Yeah. So now he's going to be making $5,000 in fake $20 bills for a career criminal at 20 cents on the dollar.
He's like when you have to sell candy bars for the soccer team. And then one of the parents is like, oh, forget about it here. Here's $20. I'll take the whole box. Yes.
So his friend's dad's like going to pay him essentially $1,000 for 5,000 counterfeit. Yeah. So this goes well. This arrangement works out for him. It lasts about 6 months. But unfortunately, sadly, his friend ODs and passes away. Oh. So now Jeff has no contact with the friend's dad. His one-person market dries up. So he gets into a different hustle, one with way more buyers. He starts selling drugs.
It's not like a wake-up call of like, my friend died and maybe I need to...
In fact, quite the opposite. He starts selling drugs.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Oxy pills, opioids, fentanyl, that kind of street drugs, right? Like street heroin. Now, one occupational hazard of selling drugs is that you start doing the drugs you sell. As Biggie warned us in the Crack Commandments, never get high on your own supply.
Exactly.
Jeff Turner starts selling drugs, starts doing drugs.
Oh, Jeff.
And through all of this, quote, I developed quite a drug habit.
Oh, God.
So, oops. But he's still on his hustle because basically he's trying to make his drugs cheaper by selling drugs to other drug users. So he would pay people to like go to a pain management clinic. They get some oxy or whatever opioid they have on offer, fentanyl, whatever. And then he'd take those pills from the person and then sell them to other drug abusers.
Right.
So let's pick up the needle though off this record, skip ahead to the next track.
Okay.
Now, when we drop the needle onto our next song, it's 6-7 years later. It's 2013. Jeff Turner is now a 25, 26-year-old drug dealer and hardcore drug abuser. His whole life changes when he meets this young woman. The way he tells it, she didn't really do drugs. She had a couple kids from a previous marriage. I kind of settled down, started dating her.
Oh, good for her. You got kids, lady. You don't do drugs. And you pick this winner up?
Oh, right. Yeah. Hell yeah. So this is life-changing for Jeff, right? Because it gives him a new habit. He was out looking, he's trying to get out of his old life and stop being a pain pill popper and dealer. So he's like, I'm going to be a good, stepdad. I'm going to be a good partner. So as he explained on his YouTube channel, I wanted to get away from the drug scene in Florida because it was just getting very chaotic back then. A lot of people were dying, going to prison, just, the whole thing that comes along with drug addicts.
Yeah, that whole thing.
Yeah, so he's seen the light. That's good for him, right?
That is good.
So this young couple, these crazy kids, they set out to find a new life for themselves and their happy little family outside of Florida.
Okay.
They go north to Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh, all right.
All right. Jeff Turner finds a legit job. He gets this job at a place called Sycamore Sign Service. It's like a sign company in Knoxville. As he puts it, things were going good. He's clean. He'd kicked his opioid habit. He's a family man now with a good, steady job. And then life dropped a little challenge in his path. And he failed it, Elizabeth.
Oh, no.
Just like a 10th grade math test.
Yeah.
Jeff Turner succinctly recalls how shortly thereafter, I ended up meeting this like gigantic pill dealer in Knoxville. So I ended up getting back on drugs. Yeah, so addiction, it's a hell of a drug.
It is.
Anyway, he's still working, tending to his family, though, even though he's now quickly redeveloping a hardcore drug habit. As Jeff tells it, things were going good. We were renting the house. Everything was pretty stable for a while. Me and the girl ended up getting married, having a couple kids of our own.
Oh, God.
So years go by. Everything's going good. He's also, like I said, he's doing well at work. He even gets a promotion to be the lead serviceman, which means his boss sends him out with his own work truck. So picture like a big old white truck with a cherry picker bucket like the utility companies would have.
Yeah.
But he's doing that to like put signs up and take them down. And,
with like a junkie at the helm.
Yeah, because his boss knows he has a drug problem because on the truck he puts a GPS tracker. And then he's following the GPS tracker and he sees where Jeff's going. And then the way Jeff tells it, he brought me into the office one day and basically said, I saw on the truck's GPS tracker that you're going to these questionable neighborhoods and obviously buying drugs or whatever. He basically said, I'm not going to fire you, but just stop doing that. Don't take my truck to those neighborhoods anymore. Jeff's like, of course, man. Yeah, no problem. He promises he's not going to take the big old work truck with the cherry picker to go score fentanyl or heroin or whatever. But life deals him another wicked curveball, Elizabeth, because he and his wife have just welcomed a new baby into their family. He's not getting much sleep. Anyway, he gets called into work one day on his day off. He goes, good worker that he is. And as Jeff tells it, I ended up falling asleep at the wheel and rolling the bucket truck, just totaled it.
Oh my God.
It's a bad one. He sends him to the hospital. He gets staples in his head. It's not a good wreck.
Yeah.
But his boss is like, I have to fire you, right?
Yeah.
So Jeff's like,
he could have killed somebody.
Oh yeah. And who's to say if he was, impaired or just sleepy from being a new father?
Either way, yeah.
He's got both challenges.
Right.
Anyway, like I said, bad wreck. So now he's in a hell of a position. He's a heroin addict, a dad of a newborn. He's got 4 youngins at home to take care of in total. He's got car payments, rent to pay. Now he's injured and unemployed, and his lease is up in a few months. So he does the math. He's like, if I get a new job, I won't have money to pay for all this. And because I'll probably miss rent, then my landlord won't want to renew the lease. I won't have enough to pay for first and last and a security deposit for a new place. And so pretty soon he's looking down the barrel of this very depressing gun.
Sure.
So he's like, you know what I need to do? I need
another baby.
I need to rob a bank.
Oh.
It's a good guess, though. So he's like, no, wait, that's not enough. I need to rob a bunch of banks.
Yeah,
because he's like your man, Willie Sutton. He thinks to himself, that's where the money is.
That's where the money is.
I need money. So,
yeah.
But this was actually not his first response. His first response was, I could start selling drugs. Right? He's like, but he doesn't really know enough people in the Knoxville area. So he's like, I don't know. Let me go back to my other plan, rob a bank. No, wait, a bunch of banks. Because we had to plan it all out, Elizabeth. You have to understand. He did his research. He looked at the risk rewards of robbing a bank.
Oh, did he?
He found that if he didn't use a weapon, he only used a note, and he didn't ask the teller to like step away or do anything, then there's no kidnapping enhancements.
Right, yeah, where you're, coercion.
So he just hand over all the money in the drawer. That would mean with no enhanced charges, if he avoids die packs, he could go for a while. But even if he does get caught, he wouldn't even be looking at that much time in prison. So he's like, I could get out. My kids will still be in school or whatever.
Right. But he's concerned about them not making rent. Well, what's going to happen when he goes inside?
Well, that's worst case scenario, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
He's looking at the other side of the ledger, which is like best case scenario. So as he tells your boy Matthew Cox on Cox's YouTube channel, he really thought it through, though. And that was the problem, because he knew that if there's any given teller's drawer that he went to rob, he's only going to come away with a few $1,000s.
Yeah.
He's like, so I'm going to need to rob 5, maybe 10 banks just to get on my feet. So as he explains to Matthew Cox, I found these specific banks that were like 2 right turns away from an interstate. I planned on like digging a hole in the side of the interstate just to bury everything as soon as I was done. Like I had it all really planned out.
Whoa, he's going to dig a hole in the side of the road.
Really planned out, Elizabeth.
Yeah, there's no stopping him.
Mastermind.
I dug a hole, guys.
Yeah, we're covered. It's next to a big tree. The third tree on the right.
Right next to the highway.
Yeah, it's past the little street sign. So anyway, he's still a heroin fentanyl user, which means he knows drug dealers. So one day he's talking to this heroin dealer, this guy he used to work with at the sign company, and the guy who'd also been fired. The two get to talking about Jeff's options. About
this poor owner of the sign company, right? By the way.
Well, you say that. But he's like, what's the best way for me to raise money, man? I'm in a pinch. And between the two of them, they come up with this new idea. And that's when his whole life takes a very dramatic turn. But before we get into all that, let's take a break, Elizabeth.
Okay.
Listen to some ear candy. And by that, I mean a slew of commercials.
Yep.
And after these messages, we'll get into making funny money.
Woohoo.
Okay, Elizabeth.
Zaron.
We're back.
Hi.
Now, where were we? Oh, right. Jeff Turner needs money.
Yeah.
Lots of it. Well, let's have our man of the moment, Jeff Turner, reset the stage. Because as he told your boy, Matthew Cox, on his YouTube channel, I reconnected with a buddy of mine who I worked with at the sign company, and it just so happens he'd become a rather large drug dealer.
Oh, so, what do you know?
So, what luck? What strange fortune, Elizabeth? Jeff made a heroin connection.
I never would have expected it from him.
But, heroin connections are a lot like rainbow connections, just a lot seedier, and they can kill you.
Take you to the Rainbow Bridge.
So anyway, this is where Jeff's story takes, like I said, a wicked turn of fate. So he said, a friend of mine called me and said, hey, if you need me, like heroin, call this dude. He's got you, like whatever you want.
It's like hey, do you need heroin? Yeah. I don't know, maybe.
He's like, so hey, how's the newborn? How you guys doing? Well, hey, by the way, if you need some heroin,
just check in. Yeah, I just wanted to check in on you. How's your heart?
Or some diapers. My sister's got diapers. My buddy's got heroin.
Do you need H?
Yeah. So do you want to guess what he did next once he got this call?
Bought heroin.
So I called him. Now, you may be wondering, why of all things holy would a married father of 4 who's experiencing joblessness contact a heroin dealer when he desperately needs to make money instead of, say, spend money?
Huh.
Well, to that, I would just say heroin.
Yeah.
He prefers to that, to all things holy, or whatever else you got.
It is rough.
Oh, yeah. We can all, these days, people often crack jokes literally about crack, right? But it's heroin that really is the king of the drugs, that it scrambles your sense of what is and what is not a good idea. Mm-hmm. I mean, heroin is the OG of that ish.
Oh, yeah, totally. And when you're talking about how he was, he was on pills and he was getting people at pain clinics, that's the Sacklers, that's totally all that, horrible opiate painkillers that they prescribed it like candy.
For a number of years there, they were just doling it out.
Yeah. And then now you get the pendulum swing so that if people really are in pain, it's near impossible
very difficult to get
decent, painkillers to address those issues.
No, you see people who have real bad pain going to heroin.
I tore a ligament in my ankle and they wouldn't give me anything more than Aleve.
Oof. Is that like a Motrin?
Yeah, it's akin to that.
Yeah.
It was rough.
That is bad.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter what I used to do with pain pills. I give them out to friends. But that's not the story, Elizabeth. So like a moth to flame, old Jeff, he heads over to the heroin dealer's house to see what's what. And this guy, he lives on the good side of Knoxville, like the west side of Knoxville, like upwind, right?
Like Johnny Knoxville.
Totally. So when Jeff gets there, by the way, congratulations to PJ Clapp. I just saw that Johnny Knoxville got married.
He got married. And did you see who officiated?
John Waters, right?
Waters.
And there was a dog involved, which I'm sure you gotta love.
Oh, I do. I love that. It looked joyous.
Yeah.
It looked absolutely joyous. They were wearing cool clothes and seemed happy. He seems like a good dude.
I like him. I'm hoping he doesn't milkshake duck ever because I've bet chips on him. I'm like, I think he seems like a good guy.
I've been a fan since back in the day.
Yeah, from the jump.
Yep.
So, but anyway, when Jeff gets to the trap house in the west side of Knoxville, he knocks, someone comes to the door, lets him in, but he doesn't know this person. It's just this like big dude. So the dude like starts to pat down Jeff, looking for like a weapon or maybe for like a police wire. I don't know. Jeff is bothered by this, perhaps insulted.
He's like, hey, we just met.
No, he says like the way he tells the story is, what the are you doing, bro? Like, why are you patting me down? All right. He talks like a Tarantino character all of a sudden when he tells that part of the story. Anyway, since he's not wired up and not carrying hardware, the stranger lets him into the house, takes him into the back to meet the heroin dealer that Jeff knows, his former co-worker from the sign company.
Yeah.
As he tells it, I was like, I was told you got some heroin. And he's like, yeah. He opens up this safe, pulls out just like a freezer bag full of dope. And I was shocked. I was like, holy bro. I didn't know you had it like that. Now, that's how he discovered his old coworker has turned into a big-time heroin dealer who does indeed have it like that.
Oh, my God.
Who Jeff knows he's at the right place, so he gets down to business. He scores some H, and then he tells the big-time dealer how he's having serious money troubles. He's like, oh, by the way.
P.S.
Yeah, so
I can't afford this.
So they sidestep the obvious issue of Jeff buying the heroin, and instead the dealer offers him some advice about how to like make some serious loot to save his family.
Sure.
Heroin dealer's first idea is like, why don't you sell heroin? It works well for this guy.
Is like Amway.
Like, have you seen my big house? So Jeff's like, he's like, I don't know. And the dealer's like, I'll front you, man. You can sell it and you can pay me back and then just come and re-up. We can do it again. Jeff's like, no, I need more money than that, like faster than that. I don't really know enough people to become a heroin dealer.
And that takes work.
So no, he's literally, it's like he's no longer in the life. Remember, he's had a straight job.
Sure.
He doesn't know heroin people anymore, not like he did in Florida.
Right.
So he's like, okay, what my plan is to rob banks. And the heroin dealer's like, okay, well, that's a choice. The heroin dealer listens to him. He's like, by the way, man, that is not a good idea. What else you got?
Yeah.
So Jeff brings up his plan, I guess, C at this point. And he says, like, oh, I also planned on counterfeiting money. I used to do that in Florida when I was a kid. Like, I could go back to that. The heroin dealer's like, no, that's a good idea.
Right.
Man.
He's like, I could use a little bit of that. I could diversify.
For real. But Elizabeth, this was not a good idea because to the criminally minded, it sounds like a good idea. Like, oh, you need money? You can make money? Boom, done deal.
Right. You can
Problem
literally
solved.
make money.
But the two of them, they start chopping it up. And the big time heroin dealer says basically exactly what you said. If you start printing $100 bills, I'll buy them off you, man.
Yeah.
So this is a huge relief to Jeff. He's like, oh man, now I've got a buyer again. So, I think, well, he put it this way. I figured that was the safest bet, especially with like a newborn child,
Okay. Deep breath, everybody.
That statement speaks for itself.
Yeah, that's the safest bet with a newborn child. 100%. I mean, that's if you look at any of the parenting books.
It's like a page 3.
Yeah, that's a page 3.
Start
that's
counterfeiting money.
Need to make ends meet.
So Jeff, if you
first talk it over with your heroin dealer.
Yeah, you could find somebody to consult with, preferably someone in the life.
God.
So if you're left wondering like I was when I first read this, why, Jeff? Why? It's Jeff Turner. He's got an answer for you. He says, I've always kind of had, I hate to say it, but kind of a criminal mentality, like do whatever it takes to get by, make money, I'm always down for a hustle. Yeah, no kidding, Jeff. So at this point, right, he tells the heroin dealer, like, I can make funny money. And the heroin dealer, as Jeff recalls, he was excited for it. He's like, what do you need? How can I help? Which, I mean, like, if you leave the crime part aside, his attitude is admirable.
He's very supportive.
As a former coworker, you come to him and he's like, hey, what do you need? How can I help?
Right.
And when you put the crime part back in, not such a great attitude. Anyway, back to the crime part. So Jeff jumps at the offer. He tells the heroin dealer what he would need to get started. So I told him, give me like a few $100s or some dope so I'm not sick, and I'll bring you an envelope with like these counterfeit $20 bills. I'll bring you like $5,000 of fake 20s, and you can re-up with them, do whatever you want with them. So he did that. He gave me a few $100 to like buy a nice printer, to buy some supplies I needed. I think he gave me like a few grams of heroin too, just so I'm not dope sick while I sat at home and edited these images and made some bills.
Oh my God.
Got the newborn at home, so.
Oh God.
So he holds up.
He's just okay.
You're gonna survive it.
I'm gonna pull through.
Jeff starts making counterfeit 20s for this big time heroin dealer. He gets himself the printer. He prints up materials to make the $5,000 in fake 20s. Then he brings an envelope stuffed with a counterfeit $5,000. He sells it to the heroin dealer. Dude looks it over. He's like, some good looking funny money, man.
Oh, okay.
But he said it cooler than that, obviously.
No,
I don't know what he said.
He said, well, Shazam, cool beans.
I'll take them. The heroin dealer.
Well, this is a pretty penny.
Well, ain't those the cat's pajamas? So he takes the envelope and he has some young women in his employ take the fake 20s out, test them, make some small purchases, and come back with legit money they got as change. Works beautifully. Women come back with a bunch of money. Big time heroin dealers like
bags of hot Cheetos.
Yeah, exactly. All the hot Cheetos you can eat.
Broke them at gas stations.
Now, the first envelope he makes was free because he had to pay off the debts he'd already incurred. So I guess he got like $1,000 worth of like supply money and then dope money.
Right.
So now he's got to make one. So now the guy offers him 20 cents on the dollar. So for each envelope, he's going to be making about $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, Jeff wants to step it up. He's like, by the way, I've been working on a $100 bill and I'd like to go for that if you're interested. And the dealer's like, yeah.
He's like a fake bill sommelier.
Totally.
Well, perhaps you would be interested in.
I have an excellent
$100
96 series. If you're interested in the 100, it's one of Ben Franklin's finest portraits. But wouldn't you know it, Elizabeth? Just as you believe he's got things going again, fate steps in yet again.
No, you're kidding.
Yep, because as Jeff says, by the time I got these hundreds, like good, you know what I mean? Like I was confident with them, his house gets raided. He goes to jail.
Oh, bwamp, bwamp.
So now his one buyer is out again.
Yeah.
This is bad because he's got that envelope of counterfeit money that he's made for him. And he's like, and also he has delivered one envelope to the guy.
They've raided the house.
Yeah. So now the cops, when cops see an envelope with $5,000 in fake money, they tend to ask questions like, where did you get this?
Right.
Who made this? What is his name?
Can I dust this for prints?
So when you're arrested, those kind of questions also become like a currency. Like you can use those to help with your plea bargain. So now Jeff has to wonder, did his former coworker turned big time heroin dealer turned criminal business partner snitch on him to reduce his own sentence?
Yeah.
The way Jeff remembers it was, like, the police got him with meth and heroin and counterfeit money. I heard he was in jail. I look him up online. I see his mugshot. I see possession of counterfeit currency on his charges. So it spooked me. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, I hope he's not cooperating on me or whatever.
You should have gone and visited him in jail and asked him in person.
And this is where a heroin user or even dealer often won't hear the irony in their choices because remember, his primary counterfeit money buyer's locked up, flipping on him. And what does Jeff need to do? Well, he needs to flee. He now has to leave his house. He can't be there. So the very reason he's making the counterfeit money, stable housing, is now gone.
Right.
Yeah, and he skips right past that. He's like, that is not a lesson to be learned right now.
Is he going to leave solo or is he going to pick up the whole family?
Oh, he's taking the whole family with him.
Oh,
he doesn't want them flipping on him. No, I'm just kidding. But he's literally trying to care for his family. So he's like, look, Daddy needs his H and you need housing. Let's go.
Yeah, and moving's so cheap.
Yeah, so they flee the trap house he's in and he takes his wife and his 4 small children with him. They go stay in a hotel, like one of those extended stay places, one that's furnished.
Yeah.
So he's got now all these counterfeit hundreds that he's made and no one to sell them to. So what should he do? Well, he quickly decides he needs to break his own rule and go bust his counterfeit cash himself.
Yeah.
Pass them off to drugstore cashiers, dollar store clerks. You get the idea.
Have the kids go in. Have the kids do it.
Oh, there you go. That's doubly smart. He decides his hundreds are good enough to risk his own freedom and he passes them for real cash and change. So now, how did he make these counterfeit bills? great question,
I'd love
Elizabeth.
to know.
I mean, if they're good enough to pass, like, what's his secret? I've been waiting for you to ask.
Well, I like to keep you in suspense.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So some counterfeiters, they will take $1 bills, bleach the hell out of them, and then print the $100 on that smaller bill, right?
Okay.
But this is a heinous process because you imagine mixing some of the worst chemicals known to man to strip the money of its ink.
Sure.
Jeff tells it this way. I'd have to put in the purple power automotive degreaser and hydrogen peroxide and then microwave it and then take a sander and file it down.
That sounds like they're cooking meth.
Pretty much. I mean, it's like really pretty much the same cookboard or a cookbook.
Sure.
It's just like your cupboard, I guess, is what I was meant to say.
Yeah.
Like, you're pulling from the same cupboard. Anyway, when you're doing all that, some of the bills don't make it through the process. You lose 10 to 20% of the bills.
Okay.
It's inefficient. It's toxic. So Jeff's like, I can do better than this. So what's his new plan?
I don't
Great
know.
question, Elizabeth. His new plan is take an inkjet printer and just print up some money.
Okay, on an inkjet.
Inkjet printer.
Because you know what happens when that gets wet.
Oh, well, there is that. But
the ink runs.
How the hell would an inkjet printer work just to print money? I mean, like, well, another banger question, Elizabeth.
Thanks.
So start with, you can't scan a $100 bill and just print one side and then print the other side after you scan that other side and then like glue the two together like the way Art Williams did.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure if you know this. I didn't know this. If you scan a $100 bill, the scanner is programmed not to allow you to upload the image. And instead, it just kind of shows you a warning of a U.S. penal code about counterfeiting.
Kidding.
Yeah, so that was Jeff Turner's experience, at least. So this guy's smart. So he's like, well, how do I get around that?
You buy a scanner off of like Temu from China. They don't care.
I don't know. I think
Jeff.
I don't know. So he makes digital files by taking photographs of the $100 bills.
Oh,
then
right.
he turns those images into layers by using Photoshop. So he used like what he learned at the old sign shop, right?
Sure.
So as Jeff says, I would layer it. I'd layer the image. So I use like 3 or 4 different layers. Like one would just be the background color, that cream color. Now, you see, as I mentioned earlier, the 96 series, that's an actual series of bills. It's the older $100 bill series.
Yeah.
So that's not the new one that's nicknamed the Blue Note that we have now that you see. That is all new security features. The 96 series had this old creamy green bill design, right? So
those don't have the hologram strip, do they?
They do, but they have a strip, but not the new hologram strip, which is much crazier to imitate.
Yeah.
So Jeff explains, I'd have one file with just this cream background color, and then another file with just the green serial numbers, and then the treasury seal, and then another file with all the black ink, like, the Federal Reserve seal, the portrait, all that.
You know what's really sad? AI is going to take his job.
It's so sad.
So sad.
Counterfeiters are one of the few people who are stoked about AI taking their job. Because it's still illegal. We're just doing it together. We're working. We're both stealing. So he creates the image, right? He has to print it up, and you can't just use normal paper and then glue those pieces together.
Right.
It won't look or feel right? So what do you use? Well, Jeff says he visited all the usual suspects, places you're familiar with. Look, for instance, every single art supply store, Hobby Lobby, Michael's. And then eventually he goes online like you would, and he researches types of paper, and he gets really familiar with all the various types of paper and the bond. And then he finds, okay, I need 9-pound bond paper so that when he prints on the paper and glues the two sides together, it combine to the weight that he believes a dollar bill to be, which is 20-pound paper.
Yeah.
So you have like the 2 9s glued together, some glue in between and whatnot.
Right.
You get to 20-pound paper.
Yeah.
So this is his plan, right? And your boy, Art Williams, he used to use newspapers for his counterfeit bills.
The like tail end of the rolls.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Jeff was like, I think I can do better than that. So he determines that he needs a very thin paper, but one that's still opaque. Like you can't see through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that way he can add the security strip and the watermark, but not be able to see through the face of his fake bill.
Right.
So also he needs the paper to feel crisp and to kind of like pop the way real money does if you kind of like snap it like a belt.
Right.
And the reason you get that crispness is like for instance, of a new bill, the pop of a bill is because it's cotton linen blend, right? Yeah. So it's more like cloth than actual typical paper.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff finds the perfect paper to use. It's called Scritta paper.
Scritta paper.
Yeah, I'd never heard of this. It's this rare type of paper that you find in expensive Bibles.
Interesting.
Yeah, as Jeff remembers it, it was literally perfect. If you shine a UV light onto high-end Scritta paper, it glows a dull purple, just like money. Whereas most paper, pretty much all paper, is bleached in the manufacturing process, so it glows like a bright fluorescent blue. But this high-end Scritta paper glowed purple in UV light. It was opaque, it was thin, it was durable. It's cotton linen blended paper. Literally perfect, Elizabeth.
Wow, yeah.
So now Jeff just needs to get his hands on a bunch of this Bible paper and he's good to go.
Yeah.
Trouble is, as Jeff tells it, I found to buy it. It was like these big manufacturing companies that only sell it in these giant reams. It would come on a pallet in like a freight truck. So I'd have to, sign for that. I'd need a forklift just to move this pallet of paper.
Oh, God.
So that option's out. So no bulk Bible paper purchases for Jeff.
Yeah.
What next? Well, he could always, steal pages out of a Bible.
Well, there's that.
You see, in the backs of Bibles, there are often blank pages for like note-taking or like soulful reflections or whatever.
Yeah.
So Jeff starts visiting bookstores, Walmarts, and he goes to the Bible section and he just cuts out pages from the backs of expensive Bibles, then shoves them down his pants and walks out. So he also, by the way, pretends that he needs Bibles for his wife's charity to, distribute them to families in need. So Jeff gets some expensive Bibles that way. But then he has a true stroke of genius. Since he's staying in hotels all the time, he sees how there's often a Bible in the bedside nightstand, right? So he starts taking pages from those. Maybe call the front desk and say, there's no Bible in my room. Gets another Bible. Right. Get that one too.
I just went right through this Bible. Can I get a freshie?
Yeah. How many Bibles you got back there? Well, one day at a hotel, he calls down to ask for a Bible. And the lady at the front desk says, I'll send up the maintenance man with a Bible. A little while later, the maintenance guy shows up with a Bible and Jeff takes a quick read of him. And he's like, he's a fellow drug user.
I was going to say to the maintenance man, like, here's your Bible. Would you like some heroin too?
Well, Jeff offers him the heroin. So he chats him up, right? As he tells it, this guy came, knocked on our door, handed me a Bible. I could tell the maintenance man looked a little rough. Like I could tell he was probably on drugs. I was like, so you guys don't keep them in the rooms anymore? And he said, no, nowadays it's, not really politically correct. Like there's different religions out of respect for like Muslims or whatever. We just have them upon request, but we don't keep them in the room. So I was like, so what? You guys just have like a closet full of the old Bibles or something? And he was like, yeah, we got like 4 or 5 boxes of them in the maintenance closet. That's why the maid called me to get them for you. So now Jeff's mind is dancing like a sugar plum fairy on meth, imagining all those Bibles and what he could do with them if he could get his hands on them. Yeah. So he asked the rough-looking maintenance guy, you want to sell me some boxes of Bibles? And Jeff's like, I'll give you $100 right now for all the Bibles. Jeff buys like 5 boxes of old Bibles. The maintenance guy brings up the Bibles and Jeff gets to work. So I went through each Bible and I took the 2 blank pages. I was able to get like enough to make like $20,000 off of this one cheap motel.
Wow.
Right? Now, but this is
now,
not...
like, maintenance guy's probably thinking like he's going to do something freaky deaky with the Bibles.
Hold that thought.
Uh-oh.
Because this is not the end of this particular story.
Okay.
After he cuts out the blank Bible pages, Jeff throws away the 5 boxes of Bibles. He tosses them right back in the motel's dumpster. And the maintenance man, of course, sees the 5 boxes of Bibles in the trash, and now he's confused. He's like, why the hell would someone buy Bibles only to throw them all away?
Right.
So when he sees Jeff and his family checking out of the motel, he goes up to Jeff and he says, hey man, like, just so you know, like I noticed those boxes of Bibles in the dumpster. Like, why did you pay me for them if you're just going to throw them away? And I didn't know what to say. So he was like, what are you? Are you like a Satan worshiper or something? So not knowing what to say, Jeff's like, yeah, that's what I am. I was like, got to get rid of the word of Jesus, and I'm paying money out of my own pocket just to throw those books away.
Oh, my God.
What a moment in your life where you're standing in the parking lot of some cheap motel. You're trying to convince the stranger that you worship Satan just so you get out of the conversation and get back to your family. Okay, so now that he's found the perfect and perfectly blasphemous paper for making money, does Jeff start printing a fortune?
Yes.
Yeah, because he still needs to beat the security features, though, so it's going to be an uphill battle. Yeah. Let's take a little break, listen to some ads, and after this break, we'll hear how Jeff Turner becomes the king of counterfeiters, and also how he meets his ignoble end. Elizabeth.
Hello.
We're back.
Hi.
I got a quick question.
Yeah.
What's scrit of paper?
Bible paper.
Good. I just wanted to make sure you're listening.
I was listening.
Now, remember how there were all those benefits for Jeff offered by scrit of paper? Well, there was one drawback. If you used one of those counterfeit money detection pens you mentioned earlier, that draw the yellow line on the bill, if it's a real bill or it turns black, if it's a fake bill, well, scrit of paper turns black.
Yikes.
This is because it contains starch.
Yeah.
And real money does not.
That's what, remember Art Williams, his gal pal, she went through and was marking everything, and it wasn't until she got to the newspaper where it didn't.
Yeah, it was the first one that doesn't. Like,
aha!
There's no starch.
Right.
So Jeff had to come up with a way of his own way to get around that, and you best believe he finally did. Mm-hmm. His family, or more importantly, his heroin habit, depended on him figuring out a way. So as Jeff says, I realized if you coat the paper with a clear spray paint, essentially it creates a barrier. So you're basically preventing that chemical reaction by coating the paper.
Oh,
boom,
interesting.
Problem solved, right? So he starts finessing his approach. He finds that if he lacquers the fake bills and he sprays then a fog coat after the first coat, he can make this passable texture that both seals the bill but also feels like a dollar bill, right? Yeah. So now he's got other security challenges. Like you can't just run Skritta paper through an inkjet printer. The paper will jam. When he's printing them, he doesn't have the security measures attached yet, but he doesn't want to ruin the paper.
Yeah.
So he has to tape the Skritta paper to a sheet of normal paper and then run that through the printer.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So at this point, he's sourcing Bible paper from motel maintenance men, stealing it from new and used bookstores, Walmarts, thrift shops, wherever he can find a Bible.
Right.
He's taping that paper to normal paper, printing his photoshopped images using multiple layers so the printer doesn't recognize it's printing money.
Yeah.
It's this simple yet rather complicated yet still brilliant method. And if you think about it, it's also now becoming a full-time job.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the way he tells it, after 10 p.m. when all the stores closed, I would go back to the hotel room and sit there and tape paper. Each bill had a front and a back, so to print $2,000, that's 20 bills. That's 40 pieces of Bible paper I would need to tape. So, from 10 p.m. to about midnight, I'd tape that paper, then go to sleep, and wake up at 8 to begin printing at 9, and then print until 2, then go shopping till 10. I mean, it was like nonstop. I mean, I was making about $1,500 a day, but it was like nonstop. That was my life all day, every day.
Oh, hard. That's hard stuff.
This is why, though, I will never say criminals are lazy. They're often not lazy. They just make terrible choices.
Yeah. And a little inefficient, it sounds. Too.
Definitely that.
Yeah.
So at this point, he's like, okay, I think it's, I think my money's good. I'm going to try to pass my new $100 bills. But before that, he also finds there's other security features he had to figure out how to beat. Like, if you hold a $100 bill and you tilt your hands, you see how that there's a shift in color and the 100 sign in the corner.
Yeah.
Well, that watermark effect is called color shifting pigment. So to get that same effect, Jeff turned to cosmetic makeup. Turns out Revlon makes an eyeshadow. It uses this interference green pigment.
Yeah.
That means if he prints the hundreds in black and then hand paints the eyeshadow onto the bill, his hundreds would shift color just the same as optically variable ink.
Interesting.
Voila. So the first time he tries to break one of his new hundreds with all of his ways to beat security features figured out, Jeff goes to where? A Taco Bell.
Oh, okay.
Just before closing. The manager is the one working the register. That's not the best. Jeff hands over the fake 100. The manager takes it, doesn't believe it's real, looks for the watermark strip, checks it, sees the watermark strip and goes, I'm satisfied, gives him his change.
Wow. A lot of times at drive-thrus and stuff, they won't take 100.
Yeah, truly. But he, I think, he walks in. So I think he knew that he had to be face-to-face with the person.
Yeah.
The next day, he's not now satisfied. He goes out with more of his funny money. He busts all those bills. The cashiers, they check the bills with the counterfeit detection pin. Boom, the lacquer coat works just like he planned. The ink stays yellow. So they cash the fake bills. They give him his change. He does this all day. As Jeff tells it, I made a few $100s, which is great. I paid for the hotel room for the night. It prolongs the situation I'm in. You know what I mean? At least I can get by for another couple days. It's very short-term
day
thinking.
to day.
So what does he do next? Great question, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
As Jeff would tell you, I go back to the hotel and I start printing out probably $1,000 worth. The next day I break them all. $1,000 worth. Boom, 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 boom. His bills spend just like real money, and the change he gets is real money.
Yeah.
So now he's made $800. He's $800 to the good, right? So Jeff's like, I can make a career out of this. So he does decide to make a few little tweaks to his formula. Like at one point, this cashier at a CVS, which by the way, they use the UV light, like a black light, to look for this red glow that's in there. It's one of the security features.
Yeah.
So it's like a red line, or it glows red if you shine a UV light on it. And so Jeff's fake money doesn't have that. She's not going to take the bill. But everything else looks right. And she's like, oh, this must be right. I wonder why it doesn't have that.
Yeah.
He's able to sweet talk her, and the cashier then cashes the bill, But now he's like, I got to figure out a way to beat that feature. Otherwise, I can't use CVS.
Totally.
So since his family's staying in motel rooms and his 4 kids get bored, he's buying them all sorts of stuff online to do. And he buys one of his daughters a diary that has a pen that writes in UV ink. So Jeff sees her using this. He's like, I wonder if there's still a red version of that pen.
Uh-huh.
They do, Elizabeth.
Oh, perfect.
He orders some to the room. He adds that to his formula. Now he can beat that security feature. So at this point, things are going well. Or as Jeff tells it, I was like, well, okay. You know what I mean? Like now I got like $1,500 in my pocket. The hotel room is paid for. You know what I mean? Things were looking good.
Oh, yeah.
However, we should also
top of the world.
Add out, during all this time, I also, still had a drug habit.
Of course.
So no kidding, Jeff. So at this point, Jeff was also back to giving drug dealers fake money for real drugs.
Oh.
He's ripping them off, right?
Yeah.
So he's like giving them fake. And so if the dealer ever figures it out, Jeff would just block their number and hope he never saw them again.
Right.
Knoxville's big enough. Or sometimes a dealer would be impressed. It was like, man, you got that over on me. And like his former coworker was the big time heroin dealer. So he's like, let me buy some of that counterfeit money off you.
Yeah.
And so Jeff starts selling counterfeit money to drug dealers from Detroit, Chicago, Cleveland. Now, let's skip forward again.
Okay.
And look at that. Boom, we find Jeff and his family now living in a house.
Oh, look at that.
With a Cleveland heroin dealer.
Oh, great. That's so good for kids.
This guy he does big time deals with his people back in Cleveland, but is living in Knoxville, right? And so the guy goes up, buys heroin from Cleveland or fentanyl, and then he like cuts that, doubles his money selling it in Knoxville because he basically cuts it in half.
Sure.
So one day, the Cleveland dealer, Jeff calls this guy E. So
was he a Cleveland plain dealer?
Ooh, deep newspaper jokes.
Thank you.
I like that. So Jeff calls this guy E. So we're going to call him E.
Uh-huh.
E wants him to roll with him to Cleveland, right? He's like, I'm going for the re-up. And, by the way, you can get some Bibles. Jeff's like, you're right. I can get some Bibles. I can bust some bills, make some money for the fam.
Yeah.
So Jeff is down at first, but then like Jeff sees that E pulls up in this but he claims is a car that he traded drugs for and some money. And Jeff's like, no, man, that's an obviously stolen car. And he's like, no, it's not stolen, man. I got the pink slip. And he's like, no, man, I know the guy. He's a booster. That's a stolen car. And he's like, come on, man. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
Was the ignition dangling out?
No, I mean, it was I think it was like a legit, the person stole it, but the pink slip was in the car they stole then just signed it over. That's how I read it. Anyway, fate steps in because Jeff gets arrested on a warrant for a failure to appear in court.
Oh.
So he gets locked up on Friday, and his partner in crime and his, landlord, E, goes to Cleveland on his own. And wouldn't you know it, he gets busted in the stolen car with a brick of heroin and a bunch of Jeff's counterfeit money.
Oh, no.
So when Jeff gets out of jail, he comes home and he hears that his partner E got arrested. And not only that, he told this girl who's like a runner for him who's staying in the house, don't tell Jeff I got arrested, which is immediately super suspicious.
Yeah.
You know where this is going.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, guys who are busting me, I know a bigger fish.
Yeah.
He makes counterfeit money. I'm talking like big bills, hundreds. So what do you think happens next, Elizabeth?
I don't know. You tell me.
If you said his boy E snitched on him, you would be correct.
100%.
He not only snitches, he sets Jeff up. He agrees to let me talk to Jeff and I can set him up on a big heroin buy or whatever.
Yeah.
So Jeff anticipates all this. He grabs all of his stuff from their trap house. I'm talking at this point, a counterfeit shop of printers. He's got multiple printers. He's got stacks of Bible paper. He loads up his family. He goes and he hides out in another hotel a couple towns away. Uh-huh. And there he resets up his shop because he still has orders for counterfeit money that he needs to fulfill for a bunch of Detroit drug dealers from the gang Detroit Vice Lords.
Oh, God, you're kidding me.
So he's doing that. He's printing up a fresh stack of $6,000 when he gets this phone call. Wouldn't you know it, it's his boy E. And he wants to know
hey, bestie.
if Jeff can do a favor for him. I just got back in town. I need some heroin. So I said, I had to use my re-up money while I was in Cleveland. And he wants to know if Jeff can help him re-up with some of his Detroit friends in town. And Jeff's like, this is super sus.
Yeah.
Clearly, he's trying to set him up maybe to reduce his own sentence. So he tells Jim, man, I'm not a drug dealer. You know that. He tries to get off the phone with him without saying anything incriminating.
Sure.
But as Jeff tells it, I kind of snapped. I was like, bro, you just got arrested up in Cleveland. You know what I mean? You told Summer not to tell me that you got arrested? Bro, you're acting sketchy. You're obviously cooperating. I'm not getting you any dope. I don't sell dope. You're trying to set me up for things that I don't even do. You know, that's f***ed up. Goodbye. I hang up. Bang. So now he's thinking he's to the good again. Even if he's cooperating, no one knows where to find him. So he can kind of just relax in this motel room and just be mad that he got stitched up by his boy.
Right.
Meanwhile, his wife is like, I want to go shopping. And Jeff is like, cool, have fun, get out. Like, while you're gone, I'll print up some bills. So she leaves. Jeff goes back to printing up the $6,000 for the Detroit drug dealers. He's got a bunch of printed up bills that haven't been glued together yet. He's like spraying a coat of lacquer on them, like right there in the hotel room, right? He's got
with the kids inhaling it, P.S.
He's got like a fan running, blowing the toxic air out of the window. I'd like to think that the kids are with the mother shopping.
I pray.
And that maybe the teenagers are like just out in the parking lot. I don't know.
Pray.
Guess what happens next, Elizabeth?
Don't. The whole hotel explodes.
Strike that. Don't guess. Because rather than you guess or have me tell you about it, I'd like you to close your eyes.
My eyes are closed.
And I'd like you to picture it. At the moment, Elizabeth, you have the residue from a fog of lacquer spray in your eye. It doesn't burn, it doesn't sting, because you are a portrait of Ben Franklin printed on a piece of Bible paper. But still, the lacquer is there and it's distracting you. There's a man moving around with efficiency as he sprays lacquer on a series of Ben Franklin portraits just like you. Very soon you will be glued to another piece of Bible paper and become a counterfeit $100 bill. But right now, you're a portrait of Ben Franklin. Then you hear it. A heavy, heavy knock at the door. The man with a can of lacquer in his hands takes off his spray mask, walks over to the hotel room door. You watch as he peers through the peephole. He pulls his head back, unsatisfied, as if someone has placed a finger over the peephole, blocking him from seeing anything. The banging at the door resumes. You don't like that. The man checks the window. This time, he makes a face of recognition. He sees the patch worn by a Knox County Sheriff's deputy. This causes the man to freak out. He runs back to where you and the other Ben Franklin portraits are. He scoops up some of your brethren, then he runs to the bathroom and he flushes them down the toilet. He runs back, scoops up a second handful of Ben Franklin portraits on Bible paper and runs back to the bathroom again. He chucks them in the toilet and hits flush. But this time, nothing. Someone must have cut off the water, you think. The Ben Franklin portraits on Bible paper now stick to the white porcelain sides of the toilet bowl. You're glad you're not one of them. What a sad fate. You watch the young man realize the fullness of his own fate. The knocking at the door resumes. The sheriff's deputies on the other side of the door now identify themselves. They demand that the man open the door, let them in. Looking at him, you're pretty sure he's not going to do that. But there's nowhere for him to go. There's a fan in the window, and surely more cops are watching from below. The knocking turns into a heavy, steely slam of a doorbuster crashing against the metal hotel room door. The cops apparently are trying to break down the door now. You look back at the man as he slumps down into a chair at the table. He reaches into his shirt pocket. He takes out a little baggie of fentanyl. He pours it on the table. He cuts out 2 lines. With a snort, he dusts off 1 line. With a second snort, he hoovers up the second line. The man has apparently decided to get arrested, comfortably numb. The Knox County Sheriff's deputies finally knock open the metal hotel room door. A multi-jurisdictional task force rushes into the room like a swarm of angry hornets, albeit very well-armed angry hornets. There are all sorts of law enforcement, drug task force, secret service. You lose count, there's so many. But you do see one of the buffest officers sweep up the man from the chair and slam him face down on the tile floor. Ooh, that looks like it hurt.
Oh my God.
So that's how it all ends for Jeff Turner.
Oh, Jeff.
Turns out the cops were able to ping his cell phone and determine that he was in that specific hotel.
I was wondering about that. Yeah, they got him on the phone for long enough.
Yep, they send the task force out to find him. When his wife went shopping, she was arrested. The room key she had on her told them where to find Jeff, and boom, boom, boom. Just like that, it all came crashing down.
That's so traumatic for those kids. That's all I keep thinking of. My God.
It's the part that's least funny.
Yeah. Ha ha. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Jeff refuses to cooperate with the drug task force since he knows he's no drug dealer, no matter what he told them.
Yeah.
And he waits for the Secret Service to get their hands on him for the counterfeiting because he would much prefer federal charges.
Yeah.
Smart man. I mean, like, you know the difference between state facility and a federal facility.
Sure.
So once the Secret Service does get their hands on him, they decide to offer Jeff a hell of a sweetheart deal. If he'll cooperate, they'll cut down his sentence. He's looking at like 3 years, maybe 5 in federal prison, but closer to 3, which is a huge improvement over the 8 to 12 he was looking at for state charges.
Sure.
Now you may be asking, but Zaron, how can he cooperate?
Yeah,
Great question.
I was
Elizabeth.
about to ask that.
See, because do the feds want him to flip on the Detroit drug dealers?
Well, teach us how you do it.
Bang!
You're kidding.
You're 100% right. The Secret Service wants him to cooperate against other counterfeiters in absentia. Turns out the Secret Service had been collecting his fake hundreds, and they were very, very impressed. They were like, these are the best fakes we've seen in 25 years. The kids these days, they buy prop money off of Amazon and try to pass that. But your bills are masterpieces. So the feds tell Jeff they won't press charges on his wife. They'll drop her from the indictment so the kids can stay with her and not go into foster care into the system.
Yeah.
They'll also cut down his sentence if he pleads guilty. And also, if he will, make a video for them. That's right. The feds are like, teach us your ways.
Like one of those TikTok dancing videos where they...
Kind of, but no. Probably similar lighting. So after a few months on pretrial release, Jeff ends up making a training video for the Secret Service. They even fly in the head of the counterfeiting department from D.C. just to watch the film shoot.
Crazy.
So Jeff does his thing. He shows the feds his whole process. They've got all the stuff right there. They're like, we've kept all the stuff from the hotel room.
Right.
So he uses the Bible paper, the inkjet printers, all the special dyes, his UV pens for a little girl's diary, all of it. He makes 2 fake hundreds, including the new 100, the blue bill, the blue note.
Oh, you're kidding.
Which he's finally figured out how to fake. And when he's done, the feds are like, that was so cool. Thank you. At least that's the way Jeff Turner tells it. Now, when he's sentenced, Jeff Turner gets 10 months in a low security federal prison.
Okay.
Not bad, right?
Yeah.
Now, while he's inside, his wife divorces him, takes the kids.
Yeah.
But other than that, Jeff manages. Like along the way, he kicks heroin and fentanyl. So that's good for him.
Good.
And of course, he still hustles inside. Like he works in a kitchen. He figured out how to trade veggies and they can put stamps on his commissary.
Yeah.
ABC Elizabeth, always be hustling.
Exactly.
But
always be cussling.
Anyway, Jeff is now out. He's been doing press, podcasts. He's got, like I said, got his own YouTube channel. Go check it out. And also, basically, he's hustling on the legit side, right? So, like, for one, I wish him luck.
Yeah, same.
Jeff Turner is certainly, he's a smart guy, clearly. He's just had tough conditions in his life, and he makes terrible choices.
Yeah, well, he made terrible choices. Let's hope
he made in the past tense.
Yeah, let's hope that he's now making, and I heartily applaud anyone who kicks any addiction. That's huge.
I thought you'd like that. So there you go.
Like
Happy
that.
Note at the end.
Yeah.
So we're both pulling for him, it sounds like.
We are.
And I got to ask you, Elizabeth, what's your ridiculous takeaway here?
Man. He with the parallels with Art Williams, Art Williams was an artist and is an artist now.
Totally.
And you think about the problem solving skills and the fine motor skills and all these techniques that they develop. He's like a really skilled graphic artist.
Totally.
Now, sadly, AI is going to take his job. but when you think about those, when you're saying like he had just kind of like a rough start, if he'd had a different trajectory, he could have been doing basically the same principle of stuff, just not in a criminal sense. And that creation. So it's we've seen that a lot with these criminals, art forgers and such, who are really talented, but they're using it kind of in the wrong way.
Totally.
What's your ridiculous takeaway?
If you have a drug dealer, don't move in with them.
That's a really, really good piece of advice.
Just mind straight up.
I would assume, yeah. Don't do it.
There you go. So pretty simple, straightforward, right to the point.
Yeah, I know housing's tight, but...
no matter what the deal is, it's not a good deal.
It's not a good, no.
So, you in the mood for a talk back?
I am.
Let's rinse this down with one. Producer D, can you favor us with one?
Talk backs. Oh my God, did he just say that?
OMG.
Hi, Zaron and Elizabeth. Blake here. I had to reach out to you after listening to your Firefest episode because Firefest messaged me on Instagram at the beginning of this year. I thought it was a joke, saying that because I do a lot of work in the ocean conservation space, they would like for me to come and teach scuba diving or freediving classes during their next extravaganza, and I would get a free place to stay. So I did look it up and definitely said no.
Girl, you say yes to that. That is going to be an amazing story, because here's what you do. You secure your own housing.
Okay.
And then you go down there and you get to witness this absolute buffoonery. I mean, you'll probably never get down there because it'll never come to fruition.
Yes.
But if they approach you again, say yes. And then you have this assistant, Elizabeth, who will happily go with you. I'll get us a place to stay. I'll get us nice rooms, and then we'll go and we'll just watch these ding-dongs do their thing.
I can't believe they basically gave the offer of like, this would be great exposure for you and whatever you do with scuba diving.
Teaching scuba diving, which like, can we talk about like the insurance that you'd need on that, and all the liability, and that like the licensing of things. And so, I mean, you wouldn't actually want to be getting out there, because think of also the doofuses who would pay him to get scuba lessons.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want any of that going on. You don't want those as your students. But I love that they reached out to you.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's incredible. Why doesn't he want me to like DJ it or something?
Like swim with the disco dolphins.
Yeah. I mean,
with Elizabeth.
Yeah. Terrifying.
Well, thank you for that talk back. We love them. And that was a really particularly fun one. If you want to hear your voice here, go check the iHeart app, download it, leave a talk back, and we would love to hear your dulcet tones here on these airwaves. Or you can obviously reach out to us online at Ridiculous Crime on social media. That's Blue Sky, that's Instagram. And we have pictures for every episode on Instagram. So when you listen afterwards, maybe even while you're listening, go check out the images, because they're there. They're curated great by the team. Nice work, interns.
Yes.
And we also have our account, Ridiculous Crime Pod, on YouTube. So there you can listen to the episodes if you prefer to listen on YouTube. And lastly, we have the website, ridiculouscrime.com, recently nominated, Elizabeth, for the Fetties in the category The Best Listen if you're in the Witness Protection Program and you miss doing crimes.
Oh.
So that was really exciting for that. I was like,
so nice.
It was an honor.
Yeah.
Or you can email us if you'd like at ridiculouscrime@gmail.com. We love the emails too, so please reach out. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you next. Crime. Ridiculous Crime is hosted by Elizabeth Dutton and Zaron Burnett. Produced and edited by the never fake, the real deal, Dave Kustin. And starring Annalise Rutger as Judith. Research is by our Trap House librarians, Marissa Brown and Jabari Davis. Our theme song is by the Detroit Vice Lords and Tailors, Thomas Lee and Travis Dutton. The host wardrobe provided by Botany 500. Guest hair and makeup by Sparkle Shot and Mr. Andre. Executive producers are the Deans of the Secret Service Film Department, Ben Bolin and Noel Brown.
Ridiculous crime.
Say it one more time.
Ridiculous crime.
Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.